Imagine quitting your job, buying a four-wheel drive bus, and traveling Australia full time, all while you're still earning more than six figures a year. Yes, it can be done. Today's special guests have been doing exactly that for the last 5 years. So, Chris and Beck have been paid to actually travel the world for the last 5 years, earning remote income while they're doing this and literally living that laptop lifestyle in their four-wheel drive bus. So today I'm really excited to have these guys back onto the Digital Investor podcast to give us an update with what it's like. And in this interview today, what we're going to cover with Chris and Beck is, besides talking about what it's like to live in a four-wheel drive bus, which is pretty cool in and of itself, but what we also want to look at is how are they actually making their money online? What have they found the best ways to monetize the various websites that they own? And most importantly, in this day and age of AI, how are they AI proofing their websites? You're going to learn some amazing insights into what they're doing there. And if you stay on till the end, the surprising way that if you're a total beginner, an easy way to get started in this space. So let's jump into it. Chris and Beck, thank you so much for coming on today. This is awesome to see you both.
You too. Hi,
Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for having us back. It's been. I think this is funny because the last interview we had, we were in WA. We're actually up in Exmouth.
Yep.
And we've traveled around Aussie now in the bus twice.
Yep.
Twice, and we're back now in WA.
We're still not sick of it.
We're still, yeah.
We'd go around again.
Yeah. We actually would, yeah.
And I'm going to throw out there for our listeners, not only have you traveled around Australia twice, guys, it looks like jumping the gun a little bit here in the interview, but you guys get paid to literally travel the world.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We have what do you call it? Like broken the matrix or something.
Yeah.
Tapped in.
We're back to the mainframe. No, yeah, we never thought that would actually happen. When we first started traveling in the bus, we didn't think that we would get paid to travel in that particular way.
No.
So that was an amazing thing that spawned from basically all our hard work we've been doing with all our digital stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinching ourselves.
Because maybe not everyone's heard our previous awesome interview, which you should do if you haven't heard it. But Chris, to give us a bit of background, you've been earning online for more than 5 years, actually, for quite a long time. What was your original background and how did you get started, just in a nutshell?
Well, so in a nutshell, because it's WA, I used to work FIFO, as half the people over here do as well. Used to work offshore oil and gas. And yeah, I started by seeing you guys back in the day before COVID when you stood up on stage and, chatted away.
Yeah.
I saw you guys for the first time here in Perth and started with the Manla's program, We Business Institute.
That was a long time ago.
It was, yeah. Yeah, do you remember being up on stage?
In Perth, our favourite city to visit and present, actually, because it's a long way away and we have big fans.
Gotta come back.
Hi, everyone from Perth. I'm sure you're all listening. Like you said, Chris, for our US friends, FIFO means fly in, fly out. Chris worked on the oil and gas. A lot of people here in Australia, when they work in that, can you give us an idea? You're paid pretty good, aren't you? What were you earning back in those days?
I was paid good. I was younger though, so I wouldn't say I saved good. But it was earlier on it was like a 2 week on, 1 week off, so they would fly you from Perth up into the middle of nowhere, and 2 weeks on, working 12-hour shifts, and then you come back to Perth. Later on I had 1 month on, 1 month off, but I was more remote, so when I was out there, very little access to internet, and this is while I was starting the digital courses as well. From there I was able to I threw myself in the deep end. I'd only been learning the material for 9 months, and I was lucky. I was a young guy. I hadn't met Beck yet, and so I just threw myself back up against the wall, made it work, and I did make it work by building local websites for local businesses to start off with. Yeah.
So Chris, I'm going to say this here publicly, mate. Do you realize all those years ago you were the first personal coaching client of mine that quit his very significant six-figure income when I specifically told you not to? So listeners, Chris freaked me out one day. He just said, Matt, I'm over this FIFO thing. As you heard, he trained with us for about 9 months, and then you decide to quit your job. And at the time I was like, oh man, like he's earning a lot of money, and and working, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. It's the perfect way to build an online business. But
Yeah.
hats off to you. That's what I admire you. And it actually, Chris, you changed my mind. We have a lot of corporate people now who are burnt out, like you were. That's why you quit, wasn't it? You're pretty much burnt out.
Yeah. Like,
And
I think for some, I don't know, this is just for me though, but I know that if I don't go 100% into something, I'm not going to do it. And if I don't have my back against the wall, I'm not going to do it. So that's the situation I put myself. I don't recommend people do it that way.
so if
You
you're
know?
listening to this,
Yeah.
in hindsight, so this is part of the purpose of this interview, right? If you're listening to this, is to learn from Chris and Beck's amazing experience on this journey to where they are today. Okay, so that you can accelerate your own journey. And as Chris himself said, don't quit your job. But it did work out all right for you in the end.
It did, because not too long after I met Beck, and she was there the whole time and building kind of that digital, like building websites for local businesses. Then she came on board as well, and then from there, we morphed from building local businesses to a model where we just sell the leads to local businesses, lead generation, because we wanted to travel full time. So that was like our method of becoming location independent. And then from there, we started Sold and Charcoal. COVID hit, we bought the bus, and we've been traveling Aussie ever since. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys left out one big part. Remember the good old days. You have been throughout this buying and selling portfolio site, what we call in our community portfolio websites as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always been easy. There was definitely patches there where we were like,
Yep.
living on beans or
Yeah.
noodles. But then there was just always something that kept us going, and the money would come in just as we needed it. And, I remember being absolutely amazed that you were building websites for clients and they were actually going really well. Chris's digital agency was getting great reviews. It was taking off. But then Chris was kind of like, okay, that's not what we're going to do forever. We need to pull it back, focus on the website, focus on our own passions, and make that a reality.
Yeah. And
your journey then was a bit of everything that we teach here, building websites for local businesses, buying and selling websites. You did have some, guys, I'm going to remind you, you did have some great successes with selling websites too.
Yeah.
Do you remember you sold one at one of our conferences? How much did you sell that health website for?
50,000.
Oh yeah, 50 US. Yeah, that was
50,000. Like you said, Beck, that's a nice little bit of income come in.
I was amazed. Like learning about Flipper back then, I couldn't believe there's this whole, marketplace where people are just selling all different kinds of websites, whether you've got $1,000 or whether you have $10 million, it was all there. So we just sold ours, made a great profit, and that really helped accelerate other things we were working on as well.
Yeah.
And you sold one of your local sites as well for a significant six-figure payout?
Yeah, so we had a lead generation website that was from start to 18 months. So took us 18 months to build up and get working, and then sold that for six figures. A great 6 figures just before we left to go traveling as well. So that was quite
funded our Australia lap for sure.
So that's where you got,
really took us through.
Yeah.
So that is where you got the money to buy the bus.
Yes.
Now. And then you hit the road.
Is our website.
Yeah.
And so, how many stories do we all know? And if you're listening to this, I'm sure if you're interested in becoming a travel blogger, you've probably thought about this. You literally just started. Is that how Salt and Charcoal started? Just travel blogging your experiences of driving around?
Like it began, I remember we were just leaving, like here, we're back where we started in Scarborough, Perth.
Yep.
We were just leaving and I was like, let's make an Instagram, a new Instagram. No idea what to call it. I guess we'll just have family following, shared a photo of us leaving. And then on that Instagram, because you're kind of traveling the world, you've said goodbye to your family and friends. It's just you two. So you kind of we wanted to share online because it's like community, what we're doing. We're so excited as well to share everything. And then, the support was just unbelievable. People sharing, saving, going, oh my gosh, these guys are traveling Australia during COVID. And, it just took off.
And then right at the start, we didn't have the bus. Actually, we had the Nissan Patrol.
That's
So we're
right.
on the rooftop tent for the first 9 months, and then
Yep.
once we realized as we went around Aussie that we would love to do this full time,
And
but
work somewhere with a roof that
Mm.
wasn't getting rained on and stuff.
yeah, working out of a rooftop tent isn't ideal. So that's
We
where
we
the
were 12
bucket.
months off, let's be honest.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't open the laptop, I think, for 12 months.
yeah.
Barely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we were still getting, at that whole time, we were still getting consistent recurring revenue
Yeah.
from what we'd built prior
Yeah.
to that.
We
Um,
should.
yeah.
So if you're listening to this, Chris and Beck didn't create this all whilst they were on the road.
No.
That they had existing online businesses that they'd been building up with us over those years leading up
Yep.
to the moment. And when did you do the sellout for the 6 figures? Like, was that before?
That was, 5 years ago, just before we'd left. So just
Okay.
before we left. Yeah.
Just before.
We
And
went
then-
hard just before we left. Like, I used to be a social worker. I was working, taking every single extra shift I could. I was on call. I was burning out really, really fast.
Yeah.
Both of us were so that the timing of that lap was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we worked super hard, saved as much as we could. Chris was getting digital, like you were just in on any kind of, strategy to make sure we would have some semi-passive income. While we traveled.
Well, the agency at building websites for the local businesses and the agency SEO sort of stuff, we had consistent revenue going through there. And when we left, we slightly changed it a little bit. So, some customers were happy for us to continue to do that while we're on the road. Some weren't. So we fired ones that weren't.
Yeah.
And the ones that are happy to continue, they didn't care at all. We just still did the work while we're traveling
That's
around.
an important lesson we learned was like pick the customers that you want to work with and make the long-term partnerships that, really are for what you want in life rather than just agreeing to everything.
Yeah.
So at this stage, so this is in the first year on the road, you just mentioned something, Beck. The reality was you didn't make a lot of money out of the travel side of your online business stage at that point.
Maybe I think we got a free rug.
Okay, so you got a free rug in your
Yeah,
first year.
I was
All
so
right,
happy.
So great income expectations for anyone listening to this. Okay, but this is cool. This is what people want to hear. What's the reality of becoming a travel influencer? Because everyone so if you're listening to this, the guys have a website called Salt and Charcoal, or they have a big social media channel for that. Sorry, I should have mentioned that before. So this is in your first year, you got a travel rug. Okay, that's pretty exciting.
So let's be totally upfront. Content creation, if people want to quit their jobs, become a content creator overnight, like it's just not possible. It's very slow to grow.
By not possible, you mean you don't get consistent revenue immediately.
Straight away.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to think that because, you could be creating so much content and doing really well, but to start getting brand partnerships and turn that into like tangible, stable, consistent income, we're still working on that, 5 years in with a much larger audience than we started with and a lot more experience as well. But the truth of the industry is as far as money goes, it ebbs and flows even for the people that are booking the brand partnerships.
Yeah.
So
their budgets ebb and flow as well.
This is brilliant, Beck. So if you're listening to this is really cool. What the guys have done very smartly is, and this is what we said at the beginning of the interview, we do want to explore, is Beck just said something. The income ebbs and flows with a travel blog. So the guys have been very smart.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop you there. The income ebbs and flows with brand partnerships.
Yes.
Oh, brand partnerships.
We'll talk about the travel blog later.
Okay, separate thing. The good correction, Chris. Thank you.
Same company, separate revenue streams.
Separate, because what we want to look at when we look back at this 5 years, so for someone starting out or intermediate people now, to learn off your experience is amazing here because you guys have diversified your incomes. You don't just, as hopefully you're understanding. I realize someone listening who's brand new kind of like thinking, how do they make money as travel bloggers or are they selling leads to local businesses? They do both. They do everything. So you guys also own semi-passive websites as well. But now where we're at 5 years down the track, what's working best for you both? So there's two big parts of this. The traffic, all the advanced people want to know about the traffic driving. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's look at this monetization thing. What is working well for you in terms of like basically where are you making your money from these days that are allowing things to be a lot more let's just say consistent and comfortable lifestyle wise for you guys?
Okay, so I guess you could think of things in two main businesses. One is the lead generation business, which
Yep.
basically what we do is we sell leads to local businesses, mainly trades.
Yep.
So what we do, we own these websites or these places that customers come to, and then we connect them with local businesses, and we get a cut from that.
Yep.
So that hands down is the most stable and consistent income over the years, over the many years. It's just always there, and it's just once you know how to do it, it's easy,
Yep.
but it is kind of boring. But normally the boring things make you
Yes.
money.
I was just about to stir you both. I was going to say it's not quite as glamorous as being travel
I know.
influencers with all these amazing, going to these amazing places around Australia and the world now.
But
Um,
the great thing about lead generation is it's
Mm.
AI proof. We're not going to get
Yes.
robotic electricians overnight. It's just not a thing.
Mhm.
So every time you go into that industry, you know that it's a real industry.
Yeah.
Also, it's a win-win. You're supplying leads for trades. You're helping the trade get more work. You're helping the person find their tradie. It's just a great way to do things.
And Beck and Chris, you found his great proof of this. Is it truly you can work on this from anywhere? Because you guys literally do. I can never pin you two down. You're always
Yes.
Neither.
these days. It seems you're overseas a lot more, not just traveling around.
We
But
don't even
have
know
you
we
found running a lead gen business in Australia when you're literally full time in a bus or on a plane somewhere?
Well, now it's easy. It is so easy because when we first started, we're trying to use Telstra, and that was patchy
Yes.
reception at the best of the time.
Yep.
But now we have Starlink, and
Yeah.
literally we have, for those you don't know, it's the satellites in the sky. Elon Musk, his SpaceX thing.
Yeah.
But literally, we get faster internet in Starlink on the Nullarbor Plains, on the bottom of Australia, within 300 kilometers from a roadhouse. We get faster internet than we do in the center of Perth, where I used to have my old digital agency business.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Also, our staff are all over the world,
Yeah.
and so if they're able to do all the tasks that they do for their work over there, then you can imagine it really doesn't matter where you are. You
No.
can be anywhere. Your staff can be
Okay.
anywhere.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just as long as these tasks are still getting done.
yeah.
This is awesome. So I'm just imagining you because listen, I've been on the Nullarbor, when you're 300 kilometers and you set up camp on those cliffs, and I remember looking at all the
Thunder cliff.
whales down below and everything. Except you guys can sit there for a few days and be making money off your laptop, literally,
Yeah.
and filming your travels as well, and that
Yeah.
will
We,
make you
we
money.
should get. We got a photo of that as well. I've got a drone photo of the bus on the cliffs and us with the laptops
We'll pop it on.
outside. Yeah, if you're on the website, look.
All right.
And then you'll see.
We've got to put that in this post. That would be
Yeah.
cool because
It's an iconic
that's the glamorous side of the dream. But if you're listening to this, you're getting the
Yes.
inside how they're actually making their money. Is selling leads to electricians.
Yes.
Tradies and stuff. And Chris, you've been doing that for many years. That's what you started when you first started with us.
Yeah. So started this is what I still say to everyone. If everyone wants to start in this particular business area, online, I still think that building websites for local businesses is hands down the best way to start. Quick cash, you learn a lot really fast. But it's not as location independent. If your true passion, which is what Beck and I's were, was to be location independent and travel the world, then building local websites, it can be, but not as easy.
Yeah.
And so we morphed that into the lead generation model, which is very similar, just the model kind of flips on its head. Then that is far more location independent because the clients don't really contact you much anymore because you're providing a product and then product delivers. And so they don't need a lot of contact with you because they get the phone call and they know it's working.
They're happy.
Yeah.
And they're happy.
And therefore, and then we can just basically work wherever we have internet, which is everywhere now. It's even when we're traveling through Philippines and stuff like that, there's internet everywhere through most of the hostels or Airbnbs and stuff. So yeah.
And so, Chris, you just gave away my punchline for the interview, which is that if you're listening and you wanted to get started in this, and anyone in our community knows I'm very passionate about this anyway, and thank you for reiterating what Matt says, and Liz, which is honestly the easiest way. It's not glamorous, but it's just building websites for local businesses. It's you literally get to earn while you learn. It's a really cool strategy. And so that is okay. So this is really cool. So while you're living this glamorous style, you're actually selling leads to tradies, plumbers, and stuff, which is super cool. But let's now look at the other way that you do monetizing, because you guys have discovered some really cool stuff over the last 5 years about making full-time income off a travel blog, which is a lot. I know for a lot of people listening to this in our community, who doesn't love the idea of getting paid literally to travel the world, which you guys do, by the way, and you've built up a position there. But let's look at the truth of that. What have you found working? So when you've now been doing this for 5 years, as we all heard, in your first year, you got given a travel rug. It's obviously gone exponential since then. It's gone through the roof.
I still got the rug. It's a good rug.
I know you're making a hell of a lot more money. You're actually making cash now off that.
Yes.
What's the journey been like for monetizing a travel blog from the early days of free travel gear to now? What's working the best? Let's explore that.
So to start with, when we had quite a small audience, and also I think you go on a big journey of self-worth and, what can I charge for this? And,
Yeah, like, are people going to listen to me? Like, why am I putting my face out there? That sort of stuff.
Yeah. So we've been on a big journey of that the past 5 years. So at first it was kind of like, oh, what can we go on a free tour, or can we get a free ferry ride or something like that?
Okay.
Which even receiving that was just mind blowing.
We were huge win. It was a win, wasn't it, when we first started?
It's just, I mean, still to this day, we're grateful for anything. But
incredibly exciting. I can remember when you guys were saying, telling us about some of the cool free stuff you got given. And I think it's on your blog as well. It's pretty cool when that. But what happened then?
I think it's important to say that we made sure we aligned with brands that weren't going to annoy our audience. If we're sharing a camera that we use all the time, or a tour that we actually think is really awesome, then we're proud to show that off and take that, for free. It's not something that we feel we can't advertise. So that was important, picking brands we align with. But then from there,
can I just jump in there? So basically what you've discovered is, as you both know, off content sites, we can make money in all sorts of ways, off ads, affiliate offers, sponsorship deals. And I call them, I love that direct sponsorship, where we're dealing with directly with the advertiser who will sponsor positions on our websites. You guys as travel influencers call that what? Brand deals.
Brand
partnerships.
Partnerships.
Where they're essentially sponsoring something on your Instagram or your could be your website as well, or YouTube or whatever in social media. When you do a brand partnership, that's like that's what it's called.
So now we have like a media kit and a portfolio where we show our work, our photography, and some content examples for brands and how they've performed around like saves and shares and conversions, so that if brands want to decide if they're interested in working with us, they look at the media kit. And then we have our rates card below, which offers different things like a reel posted on our Instagram, photos posted, stories, posts on our website, to our email list. It's just got different pricing and different opportunities to see what they want.
So now you're not just getting free gifts or trips in return, but you still get that, don't you?
Yeah. For sure. That can sometimes be part of the partnership. Yeah.
Okay. So, but you do get paid actual cash as well. So what are some of the amount now, just so someone's got an idea, what are some of the rates that you're able to charge? You don't have to say names of the companies who are paying. I know there's confidentiality and stuff.
For privacy.
But do you mind sharing with our listeners, what are some rates that you might get paid?
Let's say our best one.
Well, the most we've got is
for one partnership was 20,000 AUD, which we're so proud of.
And that was
well done, guys.
I won't say 3 days work. It was a 3-day excursion on what we did, and then probably a week of editing after.
Yeah, so we put in a lot of work, but we've had that a few times now where it's been above, what's that, 5 figures? It's been above $10,000, which
above 10,000.
yeah,
So you're
which
starting to now
mind
jump
blown.
up. So Beck, when did this start to happen in the last kind of 12 months? Like, did it
Yeah.
go like that? Did you hit an inflection, do you think?
There's definitely been an exponential increase for us because at first, all of our brand partnerships were like $1,000,
Okay,
$3,000. And
cool.
you know,
That's what, yep.
they would just kind of
Yeah.
churn through. And then now we're getting a lot more partnerships. I think that we're being more selective as well,
Yeah.
where we're able to earn a nice amount, put a lot of effort and love into it, and then make easier money.
So so when you were, just for someone starting out, it rolls off the tongue easy. You know, most of your brand partners, they were just around $1,000. But at that
Yeah.
time, was that pretty cool? Like, was that enough to
Oh,
live on as a laptop lifestyler? Like I know you had your lead gen business, but was it
definitely.
exciting? You're getting a fair bit of those $1,000 gigs?
Absolutely.
At the start,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I don't think we could have funded our lifestyle just on that. Not at
Just
all.
on that. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Because we
then
were,
though, but
Yeah, like I don't know, like it was very up and down, you know what I mean? Especially kind of when you're starting off. You might have 3 months of not getting any
and
brand deals, and
yep,
then all of a sudden, like
yeah,
financial
5.
year will start coming
yeah.
up, and all the brands need to spend their marketing budget, and then you'll have like 5 jobs that you got to do
You
within
get
a
so
month. You know what
stressed.
I
Yeah.
mean?
That's what you were saying back at the beginning of the webinar. Like it can fluctuate. This is great for anyone listening to this. So they don't realize this is so this is as a travel blogger,
Yes.
right? And so
Yeah.
now, though, I do want to reiterate, you've gotten to the exciting stage where things are starting to ratchet up. And one day, hopefully, you look back at this. Why it's great recording this now. What a moment in time.
Yes.
Because one day
Imagine.
you go, oh, 10 grand. I don't get out of bed
Oh,
for less than 50 grand. Is that what your dream
Maybe,
is?
maybe. But
amazing.
one thing I would say as well, and I think this is really good for aspiring content creators or someone who wants to build an Instagram, as well, if you're trying to find the brand partnerships, is that like when you're quote unquote influencing,
Yep.
the amount you charge is tied to your following normally, because essentially all you really are is a glorified billboard. Like you get to choose the businesses you want to connect with, and you get to choose how authentic you are, but essentially they're buying ad space on your
Yeah.
audience.
Yep.
But right now, and this is why AI, this is getting into our kind of AI discussion as well on how you can uh, protect against that, is that brands now need a lot of content to get out there. And so a lot of young or smaller accounts do UGC creation as well, which is basically what they do. Instead of creating for their Instagram, they create for the brand's Instagram.
Ooh, nice. And what's it
And
called? UGC.
UGC,
User
yeah,
generated content.
Yep.
Honestly, content is
Which we've
king.
been teaching
I
for
think
the
that's what
last
Matt says.
15
yeah,
Content
years. But
is king.
yeah.
so now is that a buzzword? Is it UG? I didn't even know it's called
Yeah,
user.
yeah, so
Yeah.
UGC, yeah, and that's what a lot of creators, you wouldn't even post it on your own Instagram. You just make it for the brand, and the brand might use it in their advertising, their Facebook ads, or something
Cool.
like that, and you
Okay.
get paid good money. And so that's where a lot of smaller creators can generate quite a bit of revenue as well, with that, because oftentimes they can start being consistent, but it's still inconsistent compared to things like websites.
So I
Yeah.
think I should say, we don't do a bunch of reaching out to brands. Most of these partnerships we're talking about have
Yeah.
come to us. So if someone
Ooh.
was looking at making this their full-time thing, they could do so much more
Okay.
pitching.
Oh yeah.
Like we should have to be honest about that. We do spend a lot
Yeah.
of time, like we really enjoy the website's work. We really enjoy the team, writing the articles, the other side of what we do, lead generation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
spend a lot of time on that stuff. So if someone was solely focusing on content, they could probably do a much better job than we do.
Yeah.
Because we should mention, shouldn't we, guys? If you're listening to this, is a really good point. Thanks, Beck. I forgot that. Chris and Beck just alluded to it. They are working on some much bigger projects on let's not say just on the side. You're working on some much bigger projects way beyond salt and charcoal. But salt and charcoal is super important because that's your passion site. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
keep getting, like, you love building that as well,
Love.
concurrent with your big projects. And if you're listening to this, why I mention that is, even when you start buying and selling websites, you'll notice lots of people will own multiple websites and once you know what you're doing in this online space, it is very exciting. You can literally make money in all sorts of ways. So you typically will have, when you think about it, you guys have got a multi-prong approach across your portfolio, and Salt and Charcoal is one of those big projects, but it doesn't make you as much money as some of the other bigger projects. But
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic, and it's got unlimited potential.
Yeah, I think Salt and Charcoal definitely has the potential to being
does.
one of our biggest ones,
Yeah.
as a because we've now got the combination of socials and the website as well. The website's very established now, and we get some great traffic to it. Connected with social, it's quite a lucrative thing.
Yeah.
But but um but yeah, it's like all the lead gen stuff is always.
But I think like
It's just keeps going.
how we are AI proofing. Like we just
solid.
create real content and
Yep.
we share real advice, and people are going to read that. Like no matter how good Chat GBT and all of that kind of stuff is, which we're all utilizing as a tool in our lives, we're still going on blogs and actually learning real advice from real humans as well. Like that's not going anywhere.
And so, guys, you've found that across your portfolio, but I guess particularly for the travel niche, now that everything's kind of settled down with AI, we know it's very disruptive, and people are worried it's hurting content sites. It's an interesting time. Just as we record this now, turns like Google's changing their opinion on what we call real websites, and the small niche sites are starting to rank really well. Are you seeing that in your travel space?
Yeah, I think HEU, which is now what, 2 years old.
So if you're listening, HU is a helpful content update, which did hit a lot of content sites, particularly the travel niche. So where are you guys at now?
Yeah.
Actually,
and so that.
Sorry, we've done a huge shift where before we'd create a lot of content that was, good content, but now even on Instagram and the website, we are giving so much attention to each piece of content that we make. Gone are the days on anything where you can just create rubbish content, that's just it's trendy or
And I think on that is basically what you're saying is, we were creating content that AI could easily replicate.
Yeah.
Just very easy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now,
away from that.
Yeah, so exactly. Same with the website. But now we move into creating, and this is probably what, evolution of us anyway, because the big guys were doing amazing content. Now we focus on building incredible content with our own personal opinion and voice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Storytelling as well. Yeah.
And I feel like that is what really people are starting to be attracted to, because you can get the AI overview of what it is, but you're never going to find the hidden spots. You're never going to find that cafe that's got the special coffee. You're never going to find that amazing bit of food. AI's never going to give that to you, because everyone has different opinions of what they want when they're traveling, and they want to follow someone they can trust. And this is kind of, I guess, the rise of influencing and the rise of you call it influencing, but it is you want to hear an opinion that's kind of similar to yours, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a friend.
Yeah.
But also we're creating better content and less content. So before it was worse content and more.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Google wants and humans want.
Makes sense.
They want real content and so this is you guys creating AI proof content, looking into what people want. What have you found? Like we said way back at the beginning of this interview, what's working really well for you now in terms of monetizing with the sponsors?
Well,
long-term brand partnerships that you that you align with.
Yeah, so
keep on repeat customers. Yeah.
In the website world, it would be called direct advertising. And that's where really each industry is different, but especially I've found for travel, right? And I'll get specific, is that when we started generating good traffic, we put ads on it, and we didn't really like ads as in Google AdSense. And we also used a publisher called Mediavine, but the grow section of it, which is at the time below 50,000 users per month. And the revenue really wasn't that great, but we were able to find direct advertisers, and in this particular case, travel insurance, and that paid, I would say, 10 times more than the ads that we have on the web, like that we used to have on the website now. So with your websites, 100% portfolio sites that are content based, 100% the best way to monetize them is direct advertising. And obviously, its brand partnerships are the same, and Instagram, exactly the same thing. Is this you're directly working with the business, and they can either pay you a monthly fee, or you can work through an aggregate affiliate company. We work through Commission Factory,
Good conversions.
which attracts it.
So
And
they find you the advertiser, and so Commission Factory is if you're listening, this is like an affiliate network.
yeah,
Yep.
affiliate network that have a list of affiliates there that you can apply to their affiliate program.
Yep.
And then
Then they
it's up to
accept,
you
yeah.
to add their ads to your website.
Okay.
Right. Compared to, say, Google AdSense, where you add the AdSense code and it dynamically serves a different ad
For the person.
for the person. Yeah.
On there.
Yeah.
So you've found by removing all your ads and just dialing in on one or two specific, let's call them corporate sponsors that you found through Commission Factory.
Yeah.
That's upped your monetization 10x.
Oh,
100%.
definitely.
100%.
And they do a lot of sales. Can I say the brand that we use?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah.
So Covermore Insurance.
Yep.
It's genuinely a great insurance brand as far as we are concerned.
Travelers.
Yeah, well, it's a popular one, right? They've got they're worldwide. So they do a lot of sales. It'll be like, 20% off travel insurance right now, ends in 2 weeks. And then we'll find that we'll have a spike in bookings as well for those types of promotions.
Okay, so this is kind of like a hybrid between being an affiliate and having a direct sponsor on your website.
Yeah, exactly. Like we still pitch direct sponsors as well on our website now, because now we've got to a point where we can work with, and we've just started this actually, reaching out to different insurance companies to see whether they want to pay us.
They want to take the spot
The
because
set
it's doing
monthly
so
fee.
well.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was also going to ask, where you're at now with the travel blog, jumping back to this monetization idea, hit the inflection point where you can, you have 5 figures, at 5 figures? Yeah, 10,000 plus sponsors and stuff. Do you use an agent for that, or are you guys just managing that yourself? Are you?
Can I just say shout out to Mitch, our staff member, if he's listening. He does so much and he's so amazing at all of this.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you use your own, it's you
It's
guys.
just like us.
You guys that are handling that. You don't have an agent working for you.
We don't. Yeah, we would love to. So if anyone is an agent, influencer agent, get in contact with us. Yeah, no. We reach out ourselves, or they reach out, and this is the beautiful thing of having a Instagram as well, is that we can kind of cross promote as well. So they might hire us for content creation, and then we're like, hey, look, we also have a website. Would you like to do a deal somewhere there as well?
Also, massive thanks to you, Matt and Liz, for you've been a huge part of our journey. You taught us so much, and we would not be where we are today without you guys.
It's true. We wouldn't. We 100% wouldn't.
This is why we recommend people to start with Matt and Liz. It's where we started. You've changed our lives.
Yeah.
I don't need to do the pitch at the end. Then podcast like all these other podcasters do. Awesome. So you heard it there, guys. If you're listening to this, and for some bizarre reason you haven't done our free masterclass, make sure you do. But hopefully, those of you who are already in our community already know Chris and Beck, and I'm sure we all want to say a massive thank you for sharing all your insights over particularly this last 5 years. Seeing your success is just phenomenal, and so much fun to be able to record this podcast, track that moment in time, because you're at the inflection point. And I will also mention too, diversification for you guys. I think the world we're going into now, if you're listening to this, here's my take on it as Chris and Beck's mentor for the last, Chris, it's been nearly 10 years.
So long.
I'm getting old, huh? But one of the things that I do want to mention, particularly though, Liz and I are passionate about this. I will finish on this point for everyone. There is one other big takeaway point from this interview, I think, and that is the power of diversification. Isn't it interesting, even for you guys? I know your passion was to build a travel blog, but it's that diversification of income where you really make your money is, like on some of you having that diverse income sources. So to even out the ups and downs of your travel blog, you do have a very consistent, steady, and significant income from lead gen sites. So be thinking about that in this day and age. And the cool thing is learning digital skills. Once you understand how websites work, I think that's the key to it. If you are still just starting out, seriously, go and watch our masterclass and just learn how to build a website. I think
What have you got to lose? It's free.
it's
Yeah.
free. Yeah,
It can change your whole life.
you can do it in a weekend, in your Jimmy Jams, working, on a laptop in a caravan if you're traveling around, however you want. But that's where the journey starts, I think, for everyone here. And Chris is now a coach with us at eBusiness Institute. He sees this all the time too. So
You can chat to Chris.
In this exact seat.
Yeah. In the bus.
right. If you do a coaching call with Chris, you're going to get him in that very
Yeah, right here.
we
Beck
go.
sits the other side.
But
I just talk when he's he's chatting, so I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea.
but seriously, guys, big thank you for sharing in-depth detail there with what you're doing, how you're making money, and how you're AI proofing your travel blog going forward. That was awesome. Thank you.